So welcome to our health segment of the day with our resident physician, Dr. Julie Chen.
Hi, Zara. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
And we are here with Lupe Nunez and Dr. Amber Piku, having a health moment for all the ladies and the gentlemen out there in the Bay Area. And so our lead question of the day for you, Dr. Julie, comes from, a lot of us are feeling like we eat well, we get enough sleep, but we still don't have any energy, right?
Right, exactly. So me and my husband were both 40, 41, and we're both working full-time, have 2 kids. But we do exercise, we are eating healthy, losing weight, and we still seem to pass out at night and wake up 7 to 8 hours later and exhausted. And so I'm just wondering, what could that be?
Well, a lot of times, especially if there's any history of endocrine issues like thyroid, adrenal functioning issues, that can come into play with fatigue, even when you're eating well and you're exercising. A lot of things that we're not aware of that might be in our diet might be causing fatigue as well. Like there are a lot of people who are gluten sensitive or dairy sensitive, and so any inflammation in the diet potentially that might be irritating the gut, however mild, can be additive and cumulative. And some of that generic low-grade fatigue might actually be associated with that. I have patients where they might be gluten sensitive or dairy sensitive or nut sensitive, and their only symptoms are that they get fatigued when they eat that food.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so that's something that's important to keep in mind is because people think, well, I don't have celiac disease, so I'm not gluten sensitive.
Right.
But there's not a black and white of going from no gluten sensitivity issues to just celiac disease. It's like a spectrum. So you can have gluten sensitivity and not have celiac disease, and you just have symptoms of, being sensitive to gluten. So I have patients where they'll eat gluten and all they feel is maybe an hour later of fatigue for several hours.
Right.
And that's it. And then years later, they're going to maybe have other symptoms associated, maybe abdominal bloating, gas, pain. But the very early on symptoms from their history is that they were just tired.
Right.
And so there's things like that you want to look into. So potential food testing or elimination trial diets are important. So eliminating the food for a while that you think might be suspicious and then going from there and seeing that. But really also quality of sleep is important because just because you're sleeping the 7 hours doesn't mean it's quality sleep. And some of the things that we do know is things like magnesium, calcium, and things like that when you're low at nighttime, they help with the quality of sleep.
Okay.
And if you're noticing that, if let's say your loved one says you're tossing and turning a lot at night, or you feel like you're waking up really fatigued, the quality of sleep might be an issue. And so sleep studies might be important.
Okay.
Right.
You have a baby in the bed with you?
Yeah.
A 2.5-year-old
Or a
in the bed
dog,
with you?
or a dog or a cat.
We
that's
have a
actually,
dog.
yes.
And the cat decides to
Yeah,
wake up
and they're
the dog.
moving around, the background noises and things like that. And sometimes even allergies, like if you have dust mite allergies, things like that, you're not getting the quality sleep that you need. And so it's really looking at not just the hours of sleep, but really the quality of sleep. What within a healthy diet might still be triggering you because you're allergic, and really looking at your endocrine system, whether your thyroid levels are optimized, your adrenal functioning is optimized or not, because as we age, these naturally can be, subpar. And so being really nitpicky about that is important, and getting like a sleep study done to really look at whether you're having issues or not.
Okay.
Would that also cause insomnia? Or sleeping and waking 3-4 times a night?
Yes, so sleep study is one thing that definitely, you should check into, because things like restless leg or not just like obstructive sleep apnea, but potentially just small amounts of obstruction during the nighttime. Or, if you're not hitting certain wave patterns at nighttime when you're sleeping, and also foods right before bedtime, like some of the heavier foods, and also potentially I usually call them high flyers. If you're more of a hyperactive person during the nighttime, if you have a hard time kind of landing to that sleep level, good sleep hygiene is important, because what you want to do is get your body ready to go to sleep. So people who have trouble falling asleep, you might need a longer period of quiet time getting ready for bed.